I'm sure all of us would agree that no matter how much we learn, prepare, or pray, at some point in life we're going to find ourselves in a challenging situation. But what we often don't realize about those situations is that they could actually put us in a better position than before. Let's look at 3 different areas. The first area is career. There's a story I heard of a guy who lost his job, and as a result, he and his family suffered tremendously. What he said next had a lasting impact on me. He confessed that he lost his job because he wasn't performing well, but he decided that the next job he got, he was going to be the best worker. That loss of his job changed his mindset, and I'm sure it set him up for an even brighter future. There are cases where people went to college, got good grades, did everything they were supposed to do, and still weren't able to find a job. One example is Acton. He was a software engineer who was rejected by Facebook and Twitter. But guess what happened? He decided to start WhatsApp, and later WhatsApp sold to Facebook for billions of dollars. My brother-in-law is another example. He, like many people, had issues with their job during the pandemic. But because he had a side business, it gave him an opportunity to build his confidence and develop his skills, and now he does that full time. In each of those examples, they experienced setbacks, but they actually ended up in a better position. Relationships are another area where setbacks could propel us forward. In my personal experience, I've had setbacks in my marriage, and yes, they were hard during those times, but now that I look back, they allowed me to get closer with my wife, and now we have a level of intimacy that I never thought was possible. In some situations, the relationship doesn't work out, but it opens up the door to that person finding an even better person to be with. I know a lady whose husband died, and as a result, she experienced a lot of pain, but she ended up finding a new husband, and I've never seen her happier. The next area is perhaps the most common area we experience setbacks in, and that's with our finances. I'm sure you know people who've messed up with money, but later became better managers of their money. But let's take this one from a different approach. Intentional setbacks. Maybe you decide to not enjoy life to the fullest now in order to save and invest so you could enjoy it to the fullest much more later. Or maybe you decide to take a pay cut to pursue something that is more fulfilling or has an even higher earning potential. As you can see, the areas and examples where setbacks could propel us forward are endless. But this being the wise believer, I must give you a biblical example. As you may know, Joseph experienced many setbacks. First, because his brothers were jealous of him, they sold him into slavery. But while in slavery, he rose to become the head of his master's household. Just when he thought everything was working out, his master's wife then falsely accused him of sexual harassment, which led him to prison. But while in prison, things worked out where he ended up interpreting dreams for Pharaoh, who was the leader of Egypt, and he ended up being placed second in charge. And at the end of the day, he ended up saving the same brothers that sold him into slavery from a famine. So I encourage you to keep the faith. You may not see how a situation could work out for the better, but trust that it can. Setbacks could propel you forward.